Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. All right, you guys. Shout out to Hey Nene. Are you okay with me shouting the person who gave me this information? Is it okay? Forgot to ask you that. Let me know in the chat if it's okay. Um, I got this information from an OG crew member who knows that I love to talk about. Okay. Well, shout out to Nene for giving me this information. Um, I like to talk about true crime. I like to talk about real life events besides the celebrity stuff that's going on. And she gave me this information a couple of days ago and said, definitely look into this. And immediately I was intrigued and wanted to talk about this ASAP because this is a very, very complex situation. I'm going to say now, trigger warning in advance. Okay. Trigger warning, because this does get deep and it will probably trigger a lot of people. Okay. So, with that being said, we're going to Georgia. Good old Georgia. Georgia has just been in the news a lot lately. We're going to go to Decatur, Georgia. And this lady right here. And I'm sorry, you guys, it's taking me some time to process this because I have mixed emotions regarding this. This is Danyale. Okay. Danyale Harris has been convicted of unaliving someone due to a man who allegedly SA'd her daughter. Okay. Let me repeat that again. Danyale Harris has been found guilty of unaliving someone because a man was accused of allegedly SAing her daughter, her 12-year-old daughter. Okay, so I'm going to read to you the information. And again, give me some time because this is definitely a hard one to swallow. Okay. DeKalb County, Georgia, a mother accused of trying to take the law into her own hands resulted in a shooting of unaliving a teenager. She was convicted of unaliving someone and other charges stemming from the March 2020 incident. Okay. She was just convicted though. So on March 22nd, the jury found Danyale Harris, 42, guilty of the charges of felony, unaliving someone, aggravated A, conspiracy to commit aggravated A, and possession of the steel during a commission of a felony. All right. And so with that, this stems from March 31st, 2020. Okay. Danyale Harris, the mother, discovered a video of her daughter who was 12 years old at the time. She saw a video of her daughter being involved in a S act with a 22-year-old man, later identified as Antonio Harley. Let me repeat that again. The mother, Danyale Harris, who was just convicted of unaliving someone, found a video of her daughter, who was 12 years old at the time, involved in an S act with a 22-year-old man identified as Antonio Harley. At around 3:30 a.m. on April 1st, 2020, Harris reported the information to an officer with the DeKalb County Police Department. The officer involved, the DKPD Special Victims Unit, took the report and reportedly told Harris that detectives would get in touch with her. He warned her not to let her anger get the best of her and not to try to get revenge. Just hours later, authorities said Harris drove a large group of people to an apartment complex near the intersection of Wesley Chapel Road and Snap Finger Road to confront Harley. Harris and 3 of the people she brought with her were armed with steel, if you know what I mean. With that, around 1 p.m., Harris instructed her daughter to point out which apartment Harley was in. Harris knocked on the front door with the group behind her. Harley did not open the door, but instead went around from the side of the apartment building to see who was there. Harris and the rest of the group chased Harley, who managed to make it back inside his apartment through the back door. As soon as Harley shut the door, someone in the group outside started blasting, striking Harley in the chest area. Harley's brother, who was inside the apartment, fired back in an effort to protect himself and 5 of his younger siblings who were just feet away inside the apartment. Juan Newkirk, 19, who was a part of the group with Harris, was struck and unalived in the exchange. Immediately following the guilty verdicts, the DeKalb County Superior Court Judge Asha Jackson, who presided over the trial, sentenced Harris to life without the possibility of parole. Actually, not without. Harris to life. So she sentenced Harris to life with the possibility of parole plus 5 years. Now, I don't know how you get life with the possibility of parole plus 5 years. That sounds like without, but we're going to continue. It does say with the possibility of parole. 2 others involved in the confrontation was also charged. Harley, who survived his injuries, was later charged with SR, you guys figure it out, CM, figure it out, and S, exploitation of children. His case is pending. Okay, so you guys, like I said, trigger warning, especially to the mothers out there, and not even just mothers. We're talking about also people who are very protective over kids, people who are not sick in the head. Okay. What is my take on this situation? I'm sorry. Hey, Aspen. Hey, Yuli. Like I said, this is going to take me a minute to process because I'm still up and down on this. First things first, she did go to the authorities first. Okay. She went to the authorities. The detective told her, don't do anything irrational, which tells me when she was there, they already probably felt the rage and everything in her, which is why they gave her that warning. All right. Is she a hero or is she a villain? Is she an angel or is she a demon? What I do know is that every picture, no one is talking about this. I even did a YouTube search. No one's talking about this. Every picture that's pretty much online is her picture that they took, her mugshot picture. And I find it interesting that we see her picture, but I'm looking up Antonio Harley. I couldn't find an arrest record of any sort, and I could not find his mugshot picture. So, and again, they're saying that his case is pending. So I'm a little confused on this situation as far as why he doesn't have a mugshot that we can see, unless they're trying to, I guess, protect him, which would be crazy in my opinion, that this at the time 22-year-old who literally S8 a 12-year-old should be protected in that way. But I cannot find anything on him. I cannot find a record. I can't find a picture. Now, maybe there are some people who are just amazing with research who can find it for me. But what I looked for, I could not find him. Anytime I even attached his name, Danyale's picture came up. So I find it interesting that we can't find anything on him. That's one thing. I guess as mothers who are in the chat, or just people in general who I'm sure have nieces, nephews, god babies, cousins, how do you feel about this situation? Because one, when she gave them, I guess, the video, I'm assuming they had to have the video. She had to give them that video. And they said that pretty much they were going to reach out to her and pretty much said, okay, she reported the information and they would get back in touch with her. Immediately, in my opinion, he should have been arrested because it's very clear, I'm going to assume, that they could see who it was in the video, in my opinion. So why wasn't he arrested immediately? I don't know. And again, that's a little suspect for me. Because in this type of situation, in my opinion, you have a duty to not only arrest this guy who literally is a sicko, in my opinion, again, and we have to keep saying alleged because he hasn't been convicted. You not only need to get him off the streets, you also have to do a double protection situation to make sure that he's also off the streets, because we know how people can get triggered in these type of situations. So I feel like, in my opinion, yes, what she did was against the law. And Antonio survived. But I'm trying to figure out why there wasn't a temporary insanity type of plea of some sort. Because if you really look at this picture of her, like, she looks like she's out of it. Hell, in my opinion, she looks like she's possessed. She looks like she's not in her right mind. So why isn't it that it's a situation where they could say she snapped? Now, maybe it's because she did bring people with her, but in these type of situations, a lot of people will lose their minds when they hear that an innocent child is being taken advantage of. So I'm torn, y'all, because again, I am someone who is very big on, at the end of the day, the law is the law. And because we already deal with a lot of nonsense, we don't have the protection. Well, I would say I don't have the protection for complexion because, of course, I have a lot of crew members who don't look like me as well. I don't have the protection of the complexion for protection. Therefore, I always know that I need to walk carefully in this world compared to others. But in this situation, this is hard. I can see how both sides can say she was wrong. She took the law into her own hands, and other people congratulating her for taking the law into her own hands. I'm sorry. It's just one of those situations where I can see her snapping. This is one of those situations where you would snap. A lot of people. So let me see what you guys are saying. That sense is crazy. I couldn't believe they gave her that. Right. I believe that means that after a minimum of 15, she can go up for parole. Okay. All right. And the thing is that she didn't even unalive the guy who did it, allegedly. It was one of the guys that was with her that ended up becoming unalived. I feel like politics played a role in her sentencing. Interesting. Politics, as far as Nini, definitely go deeper into that. What do you mean by the politics of it all? On why she got that? Because honestly, I don't see anywhere where there said there was like temporary insanity or anything like that. Personally, again, I'm not an attorney, but that would have been one of the first things I would have done for my client, because who doesn't lose their mind when their child is taken advantage of in that way? She went to the cops first and then went after him. So they pretty much labeled her a vigilante. It sounds like pretty much they did. I agree, Aston, but I can't figure out why she got sentenced to life, even with the possibility of parole. That's a pretty rough sentence. Right. I think it is too. I think it is too. Which is why I'm trying to figure out who was her attorney. And did she have a public defender? Because it don't seem like they really fought for her, in my opinion. Doesn't seem like it. It seems like it was one of those things where she literally just got sucked up into the system. And in this situation, if there was someone who understood how someone can snap like that, I feel like she would have got off. Not even someone who can understand, just a good ass attorney. Someone who really knows the system like the back of their hand, and can really, she needed a Johnny Cochran. To me, she needed Johnny Cochran. And where the hell is that freaking guy? What's his name? Crump? Is that his name? Is that his name, you guys? What's the name of that attorney? Please let me know. I want to say his name is Crump. Isn't he an Atlanta-based attorney? Y'all let me know. Ben Crump, I think that's his name. Where the hell is he? Where is he? Because this is one of those situations where him and the rest of his crew, he should definitely be here defending this woman. Our definition of insanity and legal definition of insanity is different. True. But again, if somebody actually sat up there and maybe had someone who maybe did a psychiatric evaluation on her, like, we don't really know what her mind state was at that time. We really don't know. So honestly, I feel like if someone really was trying to do their due diligence, maybe, just maybe, she would have not necessarily maybe gotten off, but maybe she would have received less time. But that's my opinion. So someone she took with her was unalive. Yes, that's where it's saying that someone she took with her, because it sounds like Harley's brother was hitting back and ended up striking him. They striked Harley, but he survived. The guy that came with Danyale did not. One of the guys. It's an election year, and the GOP is big on law and order. Georgia is trying to remain a red state. Yeah, okay. So I get that. I get that. But the thing is, Decatur, if I'm not mistaken, is just as blue as Fulton. Decatur and Fulton are like right next door to each other. So I'm gonna assume there's a good amount of people there who would possibly understand. I don't know, y'all. Like, at this point, I really am curious to see what one of the jurors would actually say. I would love to see the court documents on this, because something ain't right. Some don't feel right about this. Like, I feel like she had an attorney that possibly did not fight for her. And the reason why I feel that even more is because they are doing a GoFundMe. They are doing a GoFundMe for her. Apparently, this is her GoFundMe. Now, I don't know for sure if this is her GoFundMe, but apparently this is her GoFundMe, and it's her family that's organizing this fundraiser and saying that, she's a devoted mother whose unwavering love for her child led her to take a stand against the unspeakable. And she found herself facing life after confronting, her child's abuser. So yeah, like they're apparently doing a GoFundMe. Um, I mean, they didn't raise that much. I don't know if it looks like it's still going on. This is heartbreaking because, like, at this point, we literally have a child who now doesn't have her mother, and I don't know if she has a father that's in her life, but now she's in a situation where, gosh, hopefully she has family that can take care of her. This is heartbreaking. This is a hard one to really this is hard, especially because this fool's case is pending, so we can't really say that he did it, because again, he hasn't been convicted of it. Yeah, Ben Ambulance Chaser Crump. Yeah. Look, you just said it right there, Nene. You just said it right there. He only get involved if he can get some money, child. Allegedly, but a lot of people say that. But the fact that she had enough foresight to go report it to the cops, gather a crew, etc., shows that she had enough wherewithal to coordinate all of this. True. But again, if something happens to your child, can you still be insane and plan this stuff? Like, when you really think about it, you have people who claim insanity all the time who still plan stuff. Like, literally, like for example, and I hate to say this is a movie, but again, I'm sure there are cases that are similar. Remember, what's that movie with Samuel L. Jackson and what is it? A Time to Unalive, but it's with the K. A Time to Unalive. Technically, he plotted his, but he got off, and they even said that he was probably insane when he did that, but he still plotted, was in, you know what I'm saying, in the courtroom, ready to go. So I feel like there's a way for you to still be insane and still do that. Because I could see her being crazy. It's all get out, going to them, telling them what happened, and she's just like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Like, I could really see that. I could see in her rage, she's just ready to go. And because of what they heard, they was like, let's do it. Let's do it. So I still feel like she could still be insane. What's weird to me is this case didn't get any publicity until she was sentenced. I didn't hear anything about the case before that. Right. I didn't even hear about the case. You had to tell me about this case. You know what I mean? And this is in a popular area. And again, we have all of these so-called, activists and things like that. Like, why aren't they rallying behind her to say, look, this was a mother who snapped trying to defend her child? It's a hard situation, you guys, because again, I am someone who truly is about making sure you follow the laws. I get it. But at the same time, what would you do? Something like that happens to your child. There's a reason why they have shows called Snap. There's a reason why, they have these, what they call them, passion crimes. There's a reason why they have certain categories for certain things. Y'all heard about the girl that took off PR and left her 1-year-old in the house. She got life and sentence without parole. Yeah, but that's different. That's definitely like that's child neglect. That's different. We talking about a situation where, which, interesting enough, I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying to figure out who videotaped this. How did the mother, get access to this tape? Are y'all thinking about that? She saw a videotape of this. A videotape of her 12-year-old with this 22-year-old. Where did this tape come from, and how did the mother get access to this? How did she get access to it? Did he tape it? So there's a couple of things that we definitely, it makes you wonder. That happened in Cleveland. That was a local story for me. The story was heartbreaking. I have acquaintances that knew her. Oh my gosh, really, Nene? I can't with the lady, and then her family going to show up for the mom. What about the baby? Yeah, but yeah, that's a whole nother story. But in this situation, this is not her getting up and leaving, I guess. We don't necessarily know where she was when this occurred, but what we do know is that if it is true, he was definitely aware of what the hell he was doing. But again, who taped this? Who taped this? Because honestly, okay, don't jump down my throat. Okay, Aspen is probably about to give us her theory on this. That's why she's doing the 3 dots afterwards. So we'll wait to see what Aspen says. From what I was told, he had left that baby alone before, but not for 10 days. Yeah, in that situation, honestly, good riddance. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's why I say at the end of the day, a lot of people who have kids shouldn't have kids, because that's ridiculous. That's definitely ridiculous. And then the family came to support her. Where was this so-called family when she went to PR to watch that baby? But going back to the topic at hand, but was she voluntarily, I don't know. And that's the thing. I don't know. And I'm not about to judge you on your theory, because let's be clear. Let's be clear. We're not going to pretend like we don't have younger girls, you know, doing a do with older guys, and it's volunteer. Now, the reality is he knows, he should know at his big old age that it's illegal and it's a crime. I would even say at her age, she knows that too. So, but the thing is, we don't necessarily know. What I do find interesting is that if he did tape it, how did she get access to it? If the guy taped it, how did Danyale Harris get access to that tape? It does make you wonder. I know she can't get consent because she's a minor. Right. But see, the thing is that what a lot of people don't like to talk about, and again, this is honest opinions, no judgment here. Like I said, as long as people are respectful, they can give their theories and their opinions here. No one really wants to talk about how this goes on a lot in communities. No one wants to talk about it. You know what I mean? This does happen a lot. Is it right? Hell no, it's not right. But again, in this tape, what are we actually seeing? Are we actually seeing her involved like she wants to be involved or not? It's a lot of questions out there. It's a lot of questions that we could definitely, a lot of theories that we could put out there. Because when I was reading it, I said, well, how the hell did she get the tape? Like, I was like, if he taped it, I know he didn't leave the tape there. So how did the mom get the recording? I would have loved to see the trial to get more information on what happened. Like you said, who recorded the encounter and how the mother find out. Yeah. It's strange, isn't it? You know, and of course, if this happened in 2020 and she was 12, she still is a minor. She should be around 16 years old. She's a teenager now, but she still is a minor. So, you know, we got to be careful also about what we say when it comes to her. This is just all alleged, all our opinions, but, you know, we're not going to pretend like we haven't heard 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13, hell, 10-year-olds doing things that they're not supposed to do. And I'm really, oh my gosh, it's a sad situation, because when it all boils down to it, if that theory is correct, her whole life now has been ruined because she no longer has her mother to be there to support her. And her mother is going to be in prison for a long time. Because did the mom find it in her phone? Could she have recorded, or he recorded and shared with her? That's the thing. We don't know. We don't know. We do not know in this situation. And I'm wondering, because we're dealing with a minor at the time, if that is something that we can actually obtain. Because I feel like when they're minors, there's only so much information they will give, because we're dealing with a minor. That's the thing. There's a lot of question mark, Aspen. And again, everybody's being respectful here, but we have every right to kind of question how the heck did this happen? Because when I was reading, I was like, how the hell did she find this videotape? How did she find it? And then she gave it to the police. She gave the information to the police. But again, that does not mean that he's the adult in this situation. I totally get it. He's the adult. But at the same time, it does make you wonder. I wonder if the guy is, because they haven't released his mugshot and he has allegedly was charged. So that's what I said earlier. Why is it that when I'm putting in his name, I don't see anything, any picture, any court records? I even went to DeKalb County's inmate search. There should be something with his name on it. Recently, I even looked from March of 2020 to now. There is no Antonio Harley anywhere in that system based on what I was able to search. And there's no picture. So why is there so much protection? Why is there so much protection on this guy? Is it because he hasn't been convicted yet? But I feel like we've seen mugshots of people who have been accused and they haven't been to trial yet. We've seen pictures of them. Hi, Hilda. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. There have literally been people who have had mugshots who literally are going to trial, but their mugshot is public record. Y'all look it up. Aspen, I know you a good researcher. Nene, I know you guys pretty much all on here are good researchers. Y'all look up that man's name and look up this case and see if y'all can find a picture of him. Because I was looking for hours and I said, where the hell is this picture? Why is her picture out there and his isn't? I have an issue with that, because when you really think about it, both of them have been accused of something. And I don't know if it's because she actually is now convicted and he's not, but it's almost coming off as they're trying to protect him. Thank you. How you gonna release his name but not release the mugshot? Now I'm kind of wondering if that's his legal name. Hell, how much protection is there on this guy? Because I was looking him up. Antonio Haley, Georgia, Decatur, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. I couldn't find anything. I already did. That's why I told you, because I couldn't find anything either. Yeah. Well, Danyale's name is on the screen and it's spelled differently. So look at that. But his name is Antonio Haley. Nene, if you can type it in for Sorry, you guys. I don't know what happened with my I don't know what happened, but Aspen, you're a good researcher. I don't know if you guys heard me, but Nene's a good researcher too. I looked Nene looked, I couldn't find anything on this man. I could not find anything on this man. Besides when you put in his name, her mugshot came up. Now, ain't that some shit? Her mugshot came up, but not his. And then I did see pictures of guys whose name is Antonio Haley, but you can't just assume that's him. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to post no one's picture that is definitely not him, but you would think by now one of the reporters, one of the investigators would actually have a picture of him. So it makes me wonder if they're purposely not putting it out there for his protection, especially with what just occurred or what happened, of course, in 2020. But there may be people who would possibly target him. Let me see. Well, we used to have a police blotter where they would release people charges, mugshots, but they stopped doing it here some years ago because people were getting penalized before getting found guilty. Okay. So, unfortunately, you guys, here's the problem. He hasn't been convicted yet. He hasn't been convicted yet. But here's the problem that I have also. Look at this GoFundMe. If this GoFundMe is accurate, look at the first paragraph. Meet Danyale Harris, a devoted mother whose unwavering love for her child led her to take a stand against the unspeakable. In a heart-wrenching twist of fate, Danyale found herself facing a life sentence after confronting her child's alleged abuser, who walks free on bond. This is what they're claiming. He is free on bond. Right. Now, if this is true, why is he free? Are they now trying to say he's a victim at this point now because he got attacked? But when I read that part, I said, okay, that's a problem. Why is he free? Why is this man free? If this is true, why is he free on bond? You really can't find anything about the case, and everything is from the last couple of weeks. There is something strange about the case. Yes. And again, I thank you 10 times over. And for crew members, anything that isn't getting attention or anything that's like exclusive or anything that you feel like, because you guys know, I've said before, I like to talk about a variety of things, including true crime. By all means, please send it to me. DM it to me or send it to my email. Because when Nene sent this to me and I did my research, I said, my tingling senses, something's not right here. Something is not right. So I wonder if it has something to do with that enforcing the innocent until proven guilty thing. Maybe. Maybe. But let's take it back. Let's take it back to R. Kelly. And let's take it back to that tape. That infamous tape when it came to R. Kelly. And I believe that child was a minor in that video. And I understand that it was leaked, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, y'all, this is leaving me speechless because I just feel like there's more protection, in my opinion, from what it seems like there's more protection for him than there is for this baby and the mom. But this occurred in 2020. They that far behind in prosecuting cases, right? He hasn't been convicted, and this happened 4 years ago. Yet she's convicted and sentenced. I wonder if Antonio's connected to someone important in Georgia. Makes you wonder, right? This happened in March The March 31st of 2020 is when she discovered it. March 22nd is when she was found guilty of 2024. So literally to the date, 4 years. Literally to the date. There's no interviews with her family out there either. I didn't see any local news reports online. Story wasn't important enough for local news stories, but her sentencing was. Right. There's nothing when it comes to, now again, I understand they gonna protect the child. She's still a minor, but there's no sister, brother, mother, father, cousins, godparents, nobody who is out there talking about this case, no one who was out there, because clearly someone posted a GoFundMe. And while it wasn't that much that was raised, there were people who actually paid and gave money to this. So where are they? And have they been trying to reach out to the local news? Because honestly, her conviction, several popular news channels and also, bigger name like publications did actually post about her sentencing. They did. And it's very short. It's very short. All of them is to the point, very short. What happened, what she was sentenced to, what judge was involved, but I don't see anything saying what the family has said about her sentencing. Nothing. Nothing at all. It's almost like she's going under the radar as far as what's going on with her. And like you said, we didn't even know about this case. And it's not like she in I don't know, some small rural town. She's in Decatur, Georgia. So why don't we know about this? I really hope the family speaks out about this, and there are some reporters out there who are willing to, interview them. I don't know who her family is, and let's just say if they do get a hold of my video, I would like to know more information about this as much as you can legally. Tell me and tell my audience, my crew, what the hell happened and what are you guys currently doing to try to help her in this situation? And, because they truly feel like, and it says the organizer, this was created 6 days ago, you guys. The GoFundMe was created 6 days ago. And the organizer, it says Harris family, and they're in St. Louis, Missouri. So this GoFundMe was created after she was convicted. After she was convicted, they created this, if this is her family. Y'all, as I say, as my people in the South have said to me before, something ain't clean in the buttermilk. Something is not feeling right about this. We definitely need to know more. And for those who maybe are familiar with this case, and for all we know, maybe they have been talking about an indicator in Atlanta and, they know more about it than we do. I don't know, but I damn sure want to know. I definitely want to know. Yeah, like you said, not even one on YouTube is talking about this. I only found out about it because it came across my phone. Right. That was the first place I went, Nini. I was like, okay, let's see, who's talking about this. YouTube, you know what I mean? Like who's talking about it? As a matter of fact, let me really quick put her name in Instagram. Let's see if she even pops up on Instagram. Because at this point, I'm really trying to figure out, and she spells her name differently than how normally people would spell Danyale. So let's see. I literally do hashtag Danyale Harris, and it says fewer than 100 posts. There's nothing to show right now. Try again later. Now, I don't know if there's something going on with the filtering or whatever. But yeah, there's nothing. It's almost like they are truly trying to make sure that national news doesn't really focus on this. That's the way it's coming off. That's really the way it's coming off. I really hope true investigators and true activists get a hold of this. And even if at the end of the day, her sentence is her sentence and they can't, appeal. Well, I'm sure that's the whole point of them doing this, is that they want to appeal it. But I feel like someone needs to investigate this. Someone needs to interview her family. Hell, someone can interview her. People get interviewed in prison all the time. And again, in this situation, can you guys, while it's against the law, I'm sure there are people, because I was looking at comments on these articles and some people was like, okay, well, look, they were saying, I don't blame her. I don't blame her doing what she did. So I can understand both sides. I understand the side that you still need to follow the law, but then at the same time, I can see how someone, again, who can lose their minds when they see this happen. Because at the end of the day, he is the adult in this situation. I have never seen a sentencing get covered when the original case, I have never seen a sentencing get covered when the original case wasn't, are you trying to say wasn't in the news? Yeah. As again, I would like for people, because I know there's a couple of crew members I know for a fact that are in Atlanta. I would like to know if they've been seeing this case in the news. Now, if they haven't seen this case in the news, as a matter of fact, I know one crew member for a fact, she even has said that she lives in DeKalb County or in Decatur. I would like to know if they're seeing it. I would like to know. Now, if they don't even have it on the local news, something's really not right here, because this is actually a story that a lot of people would pick up. Who wouldn't pick up a story like this? You know what I mean? Like, who wouldn't do that? This is not your random act of violence. This has to do with a 12-year-old, allegedly a 22-year-old, and a mother. Who wouldn't want to talk about this story? If I was a journalist, I would want to talk about it. I would want to be in the courtroom during the trial. Y'all, let me tell you something. I can't. Georgia has become an interesting place. I'll just put it like that. This is not even just a Fulton County thing. We of course been hearing so many stories when it comes to Fulton County. This, at this point, Atlanta and the surrounding area, child, I don't know anymore. I really don't know. Yes, the original case wasn't in the news. I tried searching to see if there was an article from March 2020. I didn't see one. That is weird. That's so weird. Has journalism, like true journalism, gone down the hill that much that people wouldn't take the time to investigate this type of story? Is the celebrity news that much of, well, okay, so here's the thing. I think the problem is celebrity news is oversaturating the other news. I would say not necessarily the real news, because celebrity news, like this Diddy situation, is real news too. But it used to be a balance, and I think we're lacking balance. Furthermore, do you think because this happened in March 2020, and we clearly know what happened in the beginning of March 2020, February of 2020 to be exact, is it because everything was shut down that people weren't really involved at that point? Or really, because it's not like they could really probably go out and investigate maybe around that time, or they were too scared to because of what was going on throughout our nation, or hell, the world. So maybe that has something to do with it. But I would think that once that was over, or I would say at least when it kind of died down, someone would want to pick up this story. I know stuff got swept under the rug because of the big C had taken over at that time, but seems like after Nene, I swear me and you just think too much alike. You in my brain. we think too much alike. Too much alike. Like literally. We think so much alike. It's scary sometimes. But yeah. So you guys, definitely this is something that, again, by all means, if anybody knows any information, if anyone finds out any information, again, my name is the same on IG. Also, my email is on, my page. It's thechrisnicole@gmail.com. I am curious to know what's going on and why no one is talking about this. This is crazy. This is crazy. Like, this is not your average story that you constantly hear. Now, it makes me wonder if the guy was another race besides Black. I think there would be more attention on it because, Nene, you said earlier if he was possibly Caucasian. I'm thinking if he was, you would have some of the ambulance chasers on this. You feel what I'm saying? I think if he was, there would be ambulance chasers, which is probably telling me and gearing me towards more that he has the same complexion as us. Me and you, meaning. And whoever else is in here who is African American. I'm thinking that's the case. Because honestly, if it was another race, you would probably have those people, screaming everything at the top of their lungs at this point and probably saying justice for her. Because see, no one wants to talk about, the same, race type of crimes like these. They only want to talk about the ones where it has to do with opposite races. So that's where my gut is. I don't know for sure because we don't have a damn picture of him, but my gut is telling me that he is African American. That's my gut. But with that being said, you guys, we can continue this conversation in the comment section. I want to know what you guys think about this. This is deep. It's a big question mark right now. And again, they just did a GoFundMe, but I don't see any activity on social media or the internet about this. If this family posted this GoFundMe, the family don't have social media? They don't have social media. Like, I would think that they would be trying to tell people hashtag justice for Danyale Harris or something. And I don't see anything like that. So yeah, then maybe he's related to someone important because it's just weird. Right. But I definitely want more information. So again, unless given permission, all of my sources are anonymous. So again, if somebody wants to give me information, hell, if someone has the court documents, by all means, please send them over here. As long as I can actually post them or I can talk about them, which I should be able to at this point because she's convicted. So that should be definitely something I should be able to talk about. But I damn sure want to know why they're protecting him so much and why he allegedly is out on bond. Is that like, I'm gonna have to really look up. This is why I regret I didn't go to law school. Should you be out on bond if there is a tape allegedly of you doing this and this is a minor and you're an adult? Should you be out on bond? To me, that should be a crime where you should be locked up and behind bars until trial. This is weird, you guys. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for coming to the live. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, any information you know about this case, again, I researched for hours. I couldn't find nothing. So by all means, if you find anything, please let me know. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on my next video. Toodles.